Good evening, intuitives. I'm going to get this video recorded. I don't know. It'll probably be hours till I can get it up, probably late at night. It's just how it's going with all the stuff that keeps coming up and all the errands I have to run in the next few days before I go to New York that have to get done. Errands. And my car is making a funny noise. I know what it is. The fuel injectors are dirty. Don't worry, I put a treatment in it, but hopefully, after I drive 100 miles or so, it'll start to, not do what it's doing. Because I don't want to have to pay to get anything done. Go, Gadget Fuel Injector Cleaner. And I bought the good one, damn it. The good one. Welcome all new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribing, please do. It's free and it helps. And don't you want the satisfaction of helping somebody like me? And liking doesn't cost any money or comments below. And I usually respond, at least, if you send multiple comments on the same video, I'll probably only get notification for one. But the notification system isn't perfect. But I try. I try more than most. And if my channel has, particularly helped you, there are links in the About section to send me a tip, or there's the Super Thanks button, because YouTube changed its rules again. Kyle Kalinske did a video about it on Secular Talk a couple weeks ago, and I didn't believe him. But oh yes, they have cracked down. So controversial subjects like narcissistic abuse, many of my videos are being demonetized, and ad revenue has sucked since Adpocalypse. That was before my time, but apparently at one time, ad revenue was actually pretty decent. I don't know. I missed it. Just like how savings and loans got good returns too. But like many things, boomer greed took away from that. No, I don't mean all boomers. Yes, I do mean all of you that voted in Reagan, because that's when it started. But nonetheless, I'll get into the topic that I wanted to discuss today, and it's an important one. Why do narcissists crave power? Because they do. Oh, do they love power? Well, in short, and of course it's not going to be short, power means control, and narcissists love control. That's why narcissists who have just a little bit of power abuse it, especially coverts, because they hide behind their own insecurities, behind that title, behind, well, I'm the boss. Because an overt narcissist is just like, I'm the greatest thing that ever was. You're all lucky just to be around me. Oh, I'm so hot. Oh, I'm so buffed. Yeah, that's the overt. But the covert, they have insecurities, which is why they want people to be miserable like them. And anybody who gets any form of accomplishment or any accolade that they don't have, they make sure to crush that person down, because if they don't feel good about themselves, nobody's allowed to. If I'm miserable, you're all miserable. If I can't find love, I'll destroy any connection that I see between other people, because if I can't have it, nobody can. Oh, coverts. But in terms of power, well, power can be abused, obviously, as I said, but power also means influence. Power can also lead to respect. Power can lead to getting respect that one doesn't deserve. And what I mean by that is, a narcissist doesn't want to actually, do altruistic things and non-selfish things that would make people actually admire them, actually have respect for them, because that takes work. And that also means, possibly doing things that they themselves don't directly benefit from. Ooh, no, me. Yeah, so by obtaining power, via a promotion, an elected office, a job where you wield power over people, or a job where people admire you just for being in that profession, narcissist is going to be amazingly drawn to it. Why do you think there a lot of narcissists become cops, or actors, or politicians, or lawyers? There's just to name a few, because they have, influence and power over people just for being in that position. So it's something to remember, that a narcissist not only loves power, but they love to abuse it. A narcissistic cop, for example, off duty, on duty, doesn't matter, out of their jurisdiction, doesn't matter. The slightest thing that upsets them, and it's, I'm a cop. It's like, yeah, you're OJ right now, which is out jurisdiction. And I didn't do anything illegal. Well, I don't approve. I don't care if you don't approve. A narcissistic cop, for example, is going to try to enforce their rules and not the law, because the duty of law enforcement is to enforce the written law, not what they think it should be. And I had dealt with that a few months ago, where a cop didn't approve of something I was doing that was certainly not illegal. Morally gray. It's debatable if you're living in a Quaker state, perhaps, but nonetheless, it was between two adults, and she wanted to rewrite the rules of what an adult was and what wasn't. So, you can't lecture me on that. It doesn't matter if you don't approve. That's there's no crime there. Well, around here, I'm like, oh, so around here, and everybody has to conform to whatever the status quo is. She went all Chestertology on me, and I let her have it, and then asked to speak to a sergeant. But that's just an example, of how a narcissist with a position of power will try to enforce whatever they want the rules to be, not what the rules are on the books. And to boil it down, and I know plenty of good cops, cops are supposed to enforce the law equally to everybody, not based on whose nephew and whose grandpappy did something important 50 years ago, or so people say, or, I don't approve of this, that's not status quo-y kind of thing. And you see that all the time. Narcissists also love power because they believe it puts them above the rules. The rules don't apply to me. And you see that with a lot of narcissistic celebrities. It's like, I can do as much drugs as I want. I can run people over, and it doesn't matter because I'm me, because I'm half decent at pretending to be another person, or I can rape whoever I want. They're privileged to be with me. I'm me. I have millions of dollars, and I pretend to be other people, and people come watch me. Never mind what a real monster I am when nobody important's looking. Get it? So they're drawn to any type of position that would automatically give them influence and prestige, and then they exploit the hell out of it for all it's worth. You see this, and I've mentioned this before, but it's important. Narcissists, particularly coverts, when they obtain just the slightest bit of power, it goes right to their head. So like a middle management supervisor at any place of employment will constantly be going, I'm the boss, and even saying that to people they don't manage. Just for simplicity, with my own experience, I'm going to use police and fire, but I'm actually not talking about a cop or a firefighter. But a covert narcissistic person just got promoted. Like, let's say, a narcissist who's a cop just made sergeant. Okay. And, they don't like a certain firefighter. And the sergeant of the police department starts trying to order around the firefighter, going, I'm your boss, blah, blah, blah. And the firefighter's like, I don't work for the police department. No, you're not. You may be a sergeant, but you're not my sergeant, because I'm in the fire department and not the police department. Therefore, you have no power over me. And yeah, that would send that narcissist into a tizzy, because they believe, if they have any form of rank at all, it means they're automatically the boss of everybody. They've been elevated. They're just a higher class. Now, they already believe that too, but this is their justification for making those thoughts public. Like, well, I can order whoever I want around. I'm management now. That means I own your ass, kind of thing. And in this situation, it's not just like even in work. Like, narcissistic bosses in this position do truly believe they have the power to tell their underlings what they can and cannot do off the clock, who they can talk to, who they can go out with, that kind of thing. That's how deep this lust of power and this abuse of power goes for a narcissist. Man, You see it with politicians all the time too. It's not corruption when I do it. Money equals speech. Narcissists love the ability to tell other people what to do, and in positions of power, in their minds, they have, a legitimate excuse of why they can do it. Now, some of these reasons might be semi legitimate, but you always know somebody on a power trip from a narcissist on a power trip, because the person on a power trip will constantly be beating their chest about, how important they are and how they're so great, but they're only going to abuse that power within its confines, like things they can actually do, like in the fire department. If some, fool of themselves person, trying to watch my language so I don't get demonetized, somebody full of themselves becomes lieutenant, right? That person is going to abuse that power. Yes, they're going to make whatever firefighter they don't like, clean the bathroom, do things that are within their scope as a lieutenant. The narcissist lieutenant abusing powers will do things like saying, you can't talk to him and you can't date her, and, constantly refer to people as their property. That's the distinction between somebody who's just a jerk and somebody who's a narcissist abusing power. But for a narcissist, power is a means to an end. They see that as the fast track to getting their end game, which of course is narcissistics apply, but more specifically, it's a fast track to them getting absolute control over whoever their target is, because as I've said before, narcissists equate love with possession, and those they view as their targets, those they get supply off of, they truly believe their sole existence is to please whatever that narcissist whim is. So positions of power will even sometimes fool people, and some people who don't know better or just pushovers won't stand up to a narcissist, because the narcissist will be hide behind that position of power, and the victim, the target, will be so conditioned to believe, well, this is okay because they have power, and in the narcissist mind, any power is absolute, and they try to ram that down everybody's throat that's around, that no, this is within my power, this is, I can do whatever I want. And a lot of narcissistic bosses, for example, get away with that, at least for a time, until there's somebody who's willing to stand up to them and call them out. And well, then they unleash hell on that person, because truth, logic. Yeah. I know people say I say call people out too much, but in a workplace setting, if a boss is abusing their power, in most places there are systems to report that. And you may think, oh well, but they're the boss. Yeah, but they got somebody above them, and if they're doing things they can't answer for, you can't sit in front of a civil service board and go, but I'm me, I'm entitled, I'm a legacy, I'm a golden boy, I'm a good old boy. That doesn't, again, you're when you take it outside of the confines of that little bubble, that's, whatever, wherever you're working, and the culture there, which may be screwed up, and they have to answer to like employment law. They're made up, like they're made up royalty titles, and don't you know who I am isn't going to hold up, and all that'll be on the record, and people will be able to look it up and access it through FOIA if they decide that they're going to try to use that as their justification, which is why many of them fold. It's important to know that a lot of the narcissists, I'm the boss, I have all this power, is bravado. It's bravado. They're beating their chest because they deep down know they're full of shit. And if somebody uses any facts or logic as pushback, they melt down because they can't defend it, because then the jig is up. They know we know. Yeah. So if you don't stand up to them, they're going to keep pushing and pushing the envelope of what actually is within their power, until, as I said, they get their end result, which is complete and utter control over their underlings, to where, their underlings are asking the narcissist, if they can do any little thing. And that's what the narcissist loves. They love to be like the nucleus of where it's like, all information must flow through me. I must give you my almighty approval before doing anything. Yeah, you know, and they'll do shit like that. Like, what are you doing texting that person? You know, well, she gave me her number. What's it to you? Like, I don't approve. I don't care. Yeah, things like that. Not that I've lived these examples or anything more than once, but they want the power to have all information flowing through them, and for everybody to feel, for anything to feel that they have to seek their approval before doing anything. So then, people will kiss their ass. Like, they want to be like the Don, like, oh, Don Narcissist, can I have permission? And I'm half Italian, I can say that voice, by the way. Yeah, that's what they want. And that's how they see themselves. And that's, more importantly, how they want to be seen. You know, they want power so also that people will constantly idolize them as some source of authority. They want to be seen as authority. So it's not just about them wielding that power. It's about, the prestige of having it. And even, like I said, they'll abuse wielding power. They'll also blow way out of proportion the importance of any managerial position they may have. And of course, it'll be like, only I could do this and I'm the best there ever was. So, and they want people to parrot that back to them so they, feel good about themselves, which some people do, so that narcissists will leave them alone and, maybe let them have just a little bit of free will. But that makes it worse, because when you give a narcissist praise and, further enable their delusions, the delusions get bigger because the narcissist is never satisfied. So I hope this answered some questions as to why exactly narcissists crave power so much. Trust your intuition if you're dealing with a narcissist who's craving power. Trust your intuition about when to call them out, when to run away, but certainly do not feed their ego anymore. And of course, don't sell out your integrity to please a narcissist, because they're never satisfied. I say it all the time, but it needs to keep being said. And please like and subscribe, comment below, send tips, please. Ad revenue way down.